E3 is right around the corner, and in this video we'll be taking a look at 10 games gamers want to see more of at the big show. Now these 10 are all games that are officially confirmed and games that we haven't seen too much content from. With that being said, let's get right into this with number 10. Number 10, Mafia III. Mafia II was one of the more underrated games of last generation, but those that played it know how good it was. It took 6 years, but we're finally seeing another Mafia game with Mafia III. The game is set in 1968 in a reimagined New Orleans, and unlike Mafia II, which was very linear in design, Mafia III will feature a fully open world. The gameplay we've seen so far seems a lot more big budgety, similar to GTA rather than Mafia. Hopefully we see more at E3 that resonates with fans of the series. Mafia III is set for a release on October 7th. Number 9, Scalebound. PlatinumGames have become one of the most respected developers in the industry today. They're working on quite a few games at the moment, but arguably none more exciting than the Xbox One exclusive Scalebound. The game is an action RPG with real-time combat where you play as a human Drew accompanied by a dragon Thuban. We saw a bit of gameplay last year at Gamescom, and while the game itself looked extremely interesting, it was an early build and there were some frame rate issues. Hopefully this year at E3 we see a more polished version of the game as it's set for a release in 2017. Number 8, Titanfall 2. Titanfall was one of the most anticipated games early on in the generation, and while you'd be hard-pressed to say that the game lived up to the hype, it did set up a promising foundation for the future of the franchise. And now that we know Titanfall 2 is on the way, this time releasing on the PlayStation 4 as well, we need to see some gameplay. So far we've only seen a quick CG trailer, and the multiplayer is what fans are the most excited for, but it would also be great to see some gameplay of the campaign, as Titanfall 2 is supposed to include a fully featured campaign mode this time around. Number 7, For Honor. Gamers these days are pretty apprehensive about Ubisoft, but For Honor seems to be the one game that gamers are really looking forward to. It's looking to be a very different multiplayer experience than everything else on the market. It's a hack and slasher featuring historical warriors such as knights, samurais, and vikings. The focus on hand-to-hand combat known as the art of battle is very interesting. We saw a bit of gameplay at last year's E3, so let's hope to see some more maps, different game modes, and maybe a bit of the single-player campaign this year.
Which side to attack or block?
The key component to the art of battle is giving you, the fighter, control over both your attack and defense by tying it directly to the right stick.
Number 6, Dishonored II. Dishonored was one of the surprise hits on last generation platforms. Arcane Studios created a very engaging action-adventure stealth game, and 4 years later we are finally seeing the sequel. Dishonored 2 was revealed at last year's E3 at the Bethesda press conference, however all we saw was a CG trailer. At this year's conference we are expecting a full gameplay reveal for Dishonored 2. Information about the game is still relatively scarce. We know that there will be 2 different playable characters, Emily Caldwin or Corvo Attano, who was the protagonist of the last game. We also know that the game will be more challenging than the first title, and outside of that we don't know much, but that should change at E3. Number 5, Final Fantasy VII Remake. So it's pretty unlikely that we'll see anything substantial for that Final Fantasy VII Remake at E3. Final Fantasy 15 is set to be released in just a few short months, and you know Square Enix will put the majority of their focus on that game. However, that doesn't change the fact that gamers are salivating for more footage of this remake. And it's understandable, this is a game fans have wanted for over a decade. Don't be too surprised to see a new trailer with a bit more gameplay, but again, anything substantial seems unlikely. Number 4, Horizon Zero Dawn. Currently, the most anticipated and promising PlayStation 4 exclusive has to be Guerrilla Games' latest project, a brand new IP in Horizon Zero Dawn. An open-world action RPG set in a post-apocalyptic world that's run by mech creatures like dinosaurs. It's a very interesting premise to say the least, and just like Guerrilla's other game, Killzone, Horizon has got some sweet visuals. Since last year's reveal at E3, we've just had the same demo recycled over and over again and presented to the public. It's about time we see some more footage of the game in a brand new section. Also, let's see a confirmation on A, if the game has been in fact delayed until 2017, and B, will this game take advantage of the possible PlayStation 4 Neo? All that information should be coming at E3.
Gotta get under it. Got it!
Number 3, Mass Effect Andromeda. At last year's E3, right at the beginning of the EA press conference, we all saw the announcement of the latest from BioWare, Mass Effect Andromeda. However, all we saw was a CG trailer, and a year since we have yet to see any gameplay. And even without any gameplay, Mass Effect Andromeda is among the most anticipated games currently. Still, at E3, we will finally see some gameplay of Andromeda, and that's very exciting. This is the first Mass Effect game on next generation platforms, so expect it to look pretty good, and we'll finally get some more story details. Mass Effect Andromeda is expected to launch in early 2017. Number 2, Kingdom Hearts 3. 3 years ago at the Sony E3 press conference, Kingdom Hearts 3 was finally announced, but since that time we haven't seen much. A gameplay trailer here, a few story details there, information is still minimal, and a release date doesn't seem anywhere near. With the development of Final Fantasy XV finally wrapping up, Square's primary focus should be releasing Kingdom Hearts 3. Fans have been waiting so long for a proper third entry, and seeing a long trailer or even a gameplay demo is very possible at E3. Let's hope it happens, and let's hope we see the game in 2017. Number 1, Battlefield 1. Since its announcement, Battlefield 1 has generated a lot of hype in a short amount of time. It's nice to see EA and DICE change it up a bit, because as much as fans love Battlefield, it was also getting a bit stale at the same time. Now with Battlefield 1 being a World War I FPS, it's so refreshing and opens up so many possibilities for Battlefield. The combat and weaponry will be very different than what we've seen recently. We're all eager to see some 64-player multiplayer games, and at E3 we'll finally get a taste of what Battlefield 1 will bring when it's released on October 21st. So that wraps up our countdown of 10 games that gamers want to see more of at E3. What do you think? Which of these games are you the most excited for? Is there a different game you want to see more of? Comment your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.